Welcome back to the Great Circle, the upcoming animal survival experience set in a giant African wildlife preserve. I'm TJ, developer and creator of the game, bringing you another live development stream where I'm going to be working on the West African crocodile and putting it into the game. So crocodilians are an interesting animal. There are several different species on Africa, and my intentions are to put all of them into this game. Some of these species you know, like the Nile crocodile, but you may not have known about the dwarf crocodile, the West African crocodile. There are a couple other species that are under dispute, whether or not they are their own species, but I believe the consensus is moving towards there are other distinct species that were considered one, which will be split into more. So I'm going to be putting more as I am able to into the game with their own unique abilities and unique distinctions. But let's go ahead and get started. In case you don't know, you can follow The Great Circle on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, and Instagram. We're streaming to 3 platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch right now, so you can watch us on all 3. If you wanted to find us, just type in The Great Circle game, and you should be able to find us on any of the social media. Also, we launched a Kickstarter, which you can find linked in the description below. Check it out because I lay out a lot of the future goals of the project and its scope. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. If you have questions, just ask them in the chat while I am live, and I'll take the questions as they come. If you miss a stream, you can just post a comment with your question, and I will get back to it later on. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Let's get started. How's it going, Jada? Welcome back. And Tano. Alright, first let me get my lens spaced up. Oh yeah, it is croc time. Sure this is actually visible. Alright, so I consider it 2 creatures, but I'm going to be doing the baby and the sub-adult as well. Actually both. So this croc, I believe, is developed enough to do playable and AI. So I'm going to be doing a base that I can use for both of them. I've said many times that the AI are easier for me because they don't have as many mechanics, because the player has to have a lot more mechanics. But yeah, I think I'm going to be able to make this playable. I still have some preliminary testing and stuff to do that it's like a routine before I really should be saying it, but I'm predicting I think it's ready. This one's gonna have more of a greenish color. Granted, there's still some color work to be done, but it's mostly the body that we're going to be focusing on. Let's start with some basic locomotion. Slow walk looks good. We need some variation speeds for this, but that's good. It's like an A, right? Okay. Now for the controversial part. Controversy. Crocs don't gallop. But it's fun though, right? I don't think I'll actually use this. I think I'll just do like a faster. I'll probably like speed this up a lot, but it's like I kind of want to see how it will be in game. And of course, all we did there was just turn it, turn it. Go here. It's like people are having like post-traumatic stress syndrome from the Sarco. It's like, not again, not this not this bullcrap, dude. Crocodiles galloping around like dogs, running stuff down. I just gotta see. I gotta know. I found 0 source material for this, by the way. Not of the big crocs. I've never seen them move that fast. Like, not for running Now, I've seen them walk really fast, and in the earlier stages of their life when they're not so heavy, I saw them, I don't know if you would call it a gallop, but it was like the closest thing I've seen to a gallop. They can kind of almost jump when they run, but this is when they are really small. Like, the big ones do not move like that. Not that I've seen anyways. So if anybody does have like any video that they saw that I can use for like source material of a big croc, I mean big, you know, adult size and bigger, feel free to share that. I would love to see it. But I'm gonna try it out and just see how it is. Oh man. This is probably the one right here. You know what I mean? We've all seen crocs walk like this. This would be the fastest. Absolute. I would not accept anything higher than that. This right here is just for fun. Tano says, yeah, I don't know why POT made the Sarco gallop. Sarco is so big, there's just no way. I agree with that. Like, the crocs that we have, the biggest crocs today don't even move like that, not that I've seen. You know, so it'd be hard to imagine like an even bigger super croc like moving like that. But at the same time, it's a video game, so you gotta give it latitude, and you know, it's probably for fun. Let's admit it. It was fun to run around more as a croc, and then when it had more stamina, just to run stuff down, just clapping, and just snapping up everything that you can reach. It is a fun thing to do. So you know, that's probably what the whole meaning or function behind that was. You gotta leave room for fun. I'm gonna see how this works, but unless I find a video that shows me a big croc doing this, if we might make it so that the little crocs can do this, but like once they get too big, it's like this will be all they can do. Alright, so I think that'll be all for our walking. Let's get to that juicy swimming. Says it was fun and a little OP. Agreed. We all knew it was OP. we loved it anyway though. When we were the one playing the croc, it was just annoying when those things could just run you down when you're in mid-tier. Jada says I can only find video of a smaller croc scalloping. Same. I think they just get too big to do that after a while. All right, let's get our speed. Swimming. It's not bad, right? I would like to have it so that they can walk on the floor, kind of like what I'm going to be doing with the hippos once they get underneath, because they do have to kind of preserve energy, because their tail, it's powerful and they can move them along really quickly, but it's like they don't do it all the time because it just uses a lot of energy. So a lot of times you go to the bottom of the floor and they kind of do like spacewalks, like people like on the moon, how astronauts just kind of jump up and down. They kind of do that. The little underwater leaps. Question, by the way, will you have the turn radius done when it comes out on Steam? I'm not terribly sure what you mean by that, because people mean different things. And I feel like I get what they're saying, but on the back end here, a turn radius is basically, it just measures the center of your turn to, it's basically the center of a circle, right? So I feel like what people mean is how fast it can turn, but it also, technically it refers to like the angle how fast you can turn, and then like when you can move forward. So it's really hard to pin down what you mean to say, but I mean, technically, even if an animal doesn't, so let's say you mean animations, right? When they turn, does their animation show that they're turning? Even if they don't have an animation to show turning, they still technically have turn radiuses, And it's not really called that on the back end here. It's more like rotation. But I mean, the animal will be able to turn around, so you'll be able to turn. It does have the turning animations for it. They're kind of simple, you know what I mean? It's kind of like bent would be the difference. So it's like, that's the swimming, it's just turned. But I mean, that's what it is. That's all you really need until you have like on land, where you have to see their feet touch the ground and like their body has to line up with that to not show sliding. But in water, it's sliding anyways. Everything is sliding. There's something to be said for water physics, but for right now, this is what the turning is gonna look like. And I think that's fine. So let's get a controller. Let's get a player perspective, right? Like you're controlling your croc. How do you like the girth on this thing, by the way? Fat boy. So when you're turning, body will bend, so I think that looks fine. It can be improved, but it's a good place to start. Let's do a water sprint. I think this will be like the fastest. Again, the bigger they get, I think they should move a little slower to reflect their size. But if you're really small, I think you should be like zooming through like that. Am I still alive? Did the feed cut? Let me stop this. Let me turn this thing off real quick. Oh, let me see. Let's see, if walking in a circle and it looked natural. Yeah, well, it will look as natural as I can make it look. Okay, it's still up. Cool. Just be the idle. You just kind of float. Hey, what's up, Daniel Ferreira? The bot is off today, so it's just me talking. Beautiful lizard, right? Thank you. It's gonna be a terror, though. Now, some of the differences between the West African crocodile and the Nile will be reflected in, what we know about, like, their bite power and their temperament. So, like, the Niles are the most aggressive, most aggro type of crocodile there is, I believe, and then other type crocodiles are more tame, more mild-mannered, like the freshwater croc, for example. And then we also know the Nile has the strongest bite force of any animal on Earth. The saltwater crocs of Australia are bigger, but their bite power has not been measured to be as powerful as the Nile, so I believe they're like second strongest, and the Nile is the most strong, although slightly smaller. And then you have the West African crocs, which I'm not really sure of what the data is on them, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a weaker bite force than Nile. So one of the advantages that I think will make sense for balancing purposes will be the Nile should have the best, or should have the highest bite force, and then the West African croc, while having a strong bite force, won't be as strong as a Nile. But it could be faster, or it could have more stamina. You basically shift those advantages to a different area for the West African croc, like this one. Like maybe the West African croc can have a bleed, versus the Nile crocodile can have a more bone-crushing thing. Although it makes sense for both to have bone-crushing power. Hang on, where's my torpedo? Oh, here we go. Alright, check it out. So check it out. You can death roll. And I'm contemplating letting them do it just off of just being able to let them do it just as a swimming technique, but it might be a little bit ridiculous, kind of like the Venator or whatever it's called in Beats of Bermuda can do the torpedo thing. Some of you guys can use this as a dance, I'm sure. Like, you know how the Sarcos be like doing the left and right dance? Just imagine seeing people just swimming around like that. Alright, so right now I'm going to leave that off because that's we're only going to do that for death rolling. You like the women's voice? That be a water attack? That will be, I believe, yeah, I think it will be an attack. Right now I'm thinking about it for feeding purposes. They like to latch onto things and roll to rip off pieces since they can't really chew. But I'm considering it for two purposes, both for attacking and both for feeding, because I think that's an attack. They do that for an attack too. Basics that we need here. Let me just go back to the other thing real quick. Let me see what we can do with the walk. Better one. Realistically, I think this is going to be our run. It's not going to be this. It's going to be this. This is our fast walk. slightly faster, just a little bit. Okay. Let me check about the smaller versions real quick. Yeah, they're a little thick. A little thick. Donald says, can't wait for the Steam release. Will all the animals on the in-game list be done when it releases? Well, they will be at a point where I believe they're playable, but I can't say that anything will be done in the sense that there's no more work to do, because everything that's even in the game now, I feel like can use more work, more detail, upgraded textures, upgraded graphics, upgraded functionality. So I'll probably be still improving everything by the time it gets to Steam, but I think that everything on the list will be playable, and things will just continue to improve. Like when we get better animals, we'll probably upgrade like the animal models and things like that. Kind of want to speed that one up. Yeah, there we go. Really want to play Wildcat? Coming soon. I have Wildcats, but I'm not done with them yet. I probably should stream the work that I'm doing on them now. But yeah, Wildcats are coming, and they're going to be like the first step to getting the serval into. I'm working on something, but I don't think I'm close yet. Wildcat's close. The serval is not close yet. hoping to do is use Wildcat as a base for Serval. Be honest, I'm kind of feeling the galloping more for the baby. I think it kind of looks a little bit cuter. You just see little ones running around like that. We'll see. Alright, we've got one more thing to do. We'll do the swimming for the baby and then we'll move on. We have room to go just a little bit faster than that, even. Pushing it there, but I think we can do it. Question: how many animals are left in the list for playables that need to be worked on for Steam release? You know, I'm not totally sure how many playables will be on the Steam release, but it's at least 20, because that's how many there are right now. So probably be more by the time the Steam release comes. But that's not the goal before Steam release. For Steam release, well, some stuff I shouldn't really say yet, but I kind of have some goals for what I want to have done by the Steam release. One of the biggest ones is performance. Like, I don't want the game to be looking laggy for anyone. I want the animals to be acting realistically in terms of their AI. Like, I definitely want the animals to act like the animals that they are in real life. And I would like some limited multiplayer, which I haven't finished yet, but some limited multiplayer in terms of where each player can create their own service or server and basically allow another player to kind of be a part of their gameplay. But this isn't like a server that I would have yet, because I'm trying to raise some money for that. But you would be able to let other people join your server, and so you can grow your croc together. But when you leave, you take your progress. So if you were on somebody else's server, your progress carries over to your own single player experience, and you can continue to grow. Others can help you grow, that kind of thing. In the future, though, it'll be much more of a fleshed out multiplayer experience where, you know, you can connect to a server that I or the game owns, or like community servers, and you can have a whole bunch of players on. There's about as many players as there are AI. But we're looking down the line there, so. But yeah, it doesn't. I'm not looking for a certain number of animals to get the Steam release. It's more of a quality thing for the Steam release, because I feel like Steam was pretty clear in what they expect for like early access games. You know, what they laid out in terms of, you know, your game's probably ready for Steam if it's at this point, or it's not, probably isn't ready yet if it's, you know, if it doesn't have a certain amount of gameplay for players to expect, because players are treating it like a product. It's not the same as how I'm doing it right now through Patreon. Basically, I think the idea is pretty much known, that when you contribute to the Patreon, it's to help the game develop. It's not necessarily you're buying the game as like a store substitute or whatever. By the time it gets to Steam, I want it to be something that's worth, like, this is the actual product. So I feel like there needs to be a minimum amount of gameplay in the direction that I'm trying to go in with this game for that release. But that being said, I don't think it's gonna take too much longer. I just have to get some extra stuff done. Let's see. There we go. Found the skeleton. Okay. Oh, good question. So, Tano says, "Oh, cool. So will you have multiple animal slots, like having one for each animal?" Right now, that's possible. I'm not sure if I'll go that route, or if I'll go with one animal per save. In other words, so I think it might be cool to have. I'm not sure which one is better yet for this game. I'm not sure if having one animal or having multiple animals. I think I'm leaning towards having multiple animals. So basically, let's say you get 5 animals and you get 1 save per animal. In other words, you can't have like 5 of the most recent saves. So you basically, whatever's your most recent progress for 5 of the animals that you choose. But I even have to think about and evaluate that, because that's a little arbitrary. It needs to be like for a specific reason that there's a 5 limit. It'll probably be performance that is the biggest contributor there, but we'll see. but don't know just yet. Donald says, I think it would stink to have only one, because you have to kill the playable you have to play a different animal. True. Well, you could just hit new game and then pick a new animal, but that would be a limitation. I understand where you're coming from there. Also, if we go the route that I'm thinking I'll definitely go, is with a longer period of growth for your animal. In other words, you'll have more to do in order to get to your adult stage. Like, you'll need to habitate in the right places, eat the right foods, avoid the right kinds of predators, kind of do the right rituals that your animal does in order to grow, and you'll need to do that over a sustained period of time. Yeah, I'm thinking it might make sense to have more animals just for that purpose, because you might put like a lot of time into growing up an animal, developing it and everything, and then, you know, it'd be really harsh to lose it, and then you don't really have anything else to work on. But that won't be for a while, by the way. Like, that idea of a longer period of growth, like longer terms of engaging with the animal's day-to-day life, that won't be for a while, because I have to have content and gameplay and stuff to kind of fill that. I can't just say, for example, oh, it's going to take you 10 days to grow an elephant, like 10 actual freaking real days to grow an elephant, without having different things for you to do as your elephant's growing. Like, if it's just going to be doing the same stuff, like going to food and water, and that takes 10 days, that would suck. I'm never going to do that. But if I have stuff that you would be doing through the actual stages of your animal's life, when that's ready, then probably I'll have the latitude to go in that direction, because it has to be fun. Like, one of the reasons that I don't do that now, or probably anyone else doesn't do that right now, is because it wouldn't be fun. Because it's a little too repetitive to have that long a time to get your animal to that point, if all you're doing is 3 or 4 basic things in the gameplay loop. So the loop has to be much, much bigger to justify going in a direction that I'm thinking would be an interesting direction to go in. 1, because nobody's ever done it before, and 2 is I think it will fit the aesthetic of this game a lot better. think I'm going to extend the development timer here. Actually, I'm going to take a break. So actually, when this runs out, actually, it's about to run out now. So I'm going to take a break, and when I come back, it'll probably be developed where you can I'll show the playable version of the alligator, or crocodile. I'll show West African Croc playable and West African Croc AI, real world, and maybe some Wildcat stuff too. But we're gonna go ahead and call this stream right here. Nice and short and sweet. And I want to thank you for tuning into the Great Circle. Again, you can find the Kickstarter for the Great Circle, which lays out a lot of the scope and goals of the game, in the link below. Or just go to Kickstarter, type in the Great Circle, you'll find it there. Remember, we stream to 3 platforms at once: YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. So you can actually find the Great Circle on those 3 platforms, as well as Instagram, Twitter, and we have a Discord. Discord lets you be up to date with all the latest news on the game. And also, if you want to play early access before it is in Steam, you can contribute to the Patreon. That is linked below as well. So the Patreon gives you access to the very latest stuff that I've been doing. And once the Steam launches, some content will go to Steam, and we're going to keep it so that if you're a Patreon person still, you're going to have some stuff that you can't get on Steam. Be it certain animals early, or be it the very, very latest stuff, before it gets released to Steam, because I feel like Steam, it needs to be more polished because it's considered more of a product there. But we're going to make it so that there's still something special if you still want to contribute to the Patreon. We could use all the help we can get. So if you could do both, do the Patreon, buy the game on Steam, help us with Kickstarter. It can only help. But I want to show you the progress that's being made right now, and we're going to continue to go in the direction of adding animals to the world, expanding the size of the world, expanding the amount of biomes, expanding the amount of gameplay available in the loop, continuing to go in a innovative direction, doing things that have not been done yet, and also making the game actually look and feel like you're actually in the wildlife, like in an African wildlife preserve. And of course, our story mode, continuing with that, because I feel like that's one of the most special things about the game. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, folks. Hope you enjoy. Share it with your friends if you think they'll like it, and take care, folks. Oh yeah, don't forget, you can like the Kickstarter page. It boosts us in the rankings, so we get a little more, visibility and everything. All right, take care. Hope you have a good evening. Let me see. Oh wait, comment before I go. I already read that one. Oh wait, the last one. The game kind of feels like Beast of Bermuda, of modern day animal games, meant to be as a good way. Oh, great. Yeah, I haven't played Beast of Bermuda before. So I hope we're like Beast of Bermuda in terms of anything good. I feel like the Isle clearly looks better. That's kind of more my style. So with an animal game like this, I'm kind of going for a more realistic look and feel. But like Beast of Bermuda, you can't knock them. They're successful. People know who they are. People play the game. So, an honor to be compared to a successful game. So hopefully we can get there too. All right, thanks for tuning in, folks. Take care. We'll be back later.